All right, Shalom. Shalom, giving all praises. Giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashemi Al Shai, by Hashem Dash. Double honor to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the 144,000 rest of the whole elect. This is your brother, the priest, as I want from GMS Atlanta. Back with another edifying video. And I just want to speak today on the diaspora. Okay. A lot of our people in these last days are awakening to a higher understanding of who we are. The whole conscious movement and, so-called woke movement. So there's a lot of information and knowledge and truth that is being spread all over the world, mainly through the internet. And a lot of our people are embracing who we are collectively. Now, most of us, most of our people, especially so-called black people who consider themselves African, so you hear that word, African diaspora or diaspora. But we know that the full 100% truth is that we were refugees in Africa, which our people fled into the continent of Africa, north, west, and south, mainly the western coast of Africa, after the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD, which we are the Israelites, okay? We are the Hebrew Israelites, all right? We're not Africans, all right? There is no nation of people when you read the Bible called Africa. All right, we are the sons of Israel, the sons and daughters of Israel. So with that being said, there was a diaspora. When you read the history of the Israelites in the scriptures, there was a diaspora, which the word diaspora means to scatter. So I'm just going to, go into a little history on the fact that the Israelites, the people of Judah, were scattered all around the world, including America. All right, so I'm gonna try to just have this like a brief overview. Okay, so I just went to Google and typed in Israelite diaspora. Right now they use the J word. Okay, which it is the scattering of, we know that this is the Israelites throughout the world, beginning with the Babylonian captivity in 586 BC. Now, actually before that, all right, when you go into the history, the northern kingdom of Israel was put into captivity in 722. Some scholars say between 724 and 721 BC. Around 722 BC, the 10 tribes of Israel were put into captivity underneath the Assyrians. Now, dealing with the Jews, all right, or Judah, the tribe of Judah, which was known as the southern kingdom of Judah in the land of Israel, they were taken into captivity by the Babylonians around 586 BC. All right. But this term Jewish diaspora doesn't incorporate all 12 tribes. All right. If you were to ask the people over there in the land today, the small hats, where are the other 10, 11 tribes? Besides Judah, they couldn't give you an answer, a definite answer. All right. So, and the reason why I'm going into this, because when you understand the history of the Bible, and you read about the Gentiles and the salvation of the Gentiles and the Jews, and how there's no difference between the Jews and the Greeks, it is not referring to the Gentiles which are of the nations outside of being an Israelite, outside of the Hebrew Israelites, the Gentiles that are to be saved, are the scriptures is not referring to them for that deliverance. It's talking about the Israelites of the diaspora that was scattered, that the Lord wanted to bring back to the understanding of who they were. So it says the origins. The Israelite diaspora began, which is of the tribe of Judah. So I say the Judite diaspora began with Nebuchadnezzar. Began when Nebuchadnezzar took the people of Jerusalem captive. The term diaspora is Greek and refers to the dispersion of the Israelites among the Gentiles, the tribe of Judah. So here it is right here. You have Israelites that were scattered, dispersed among the Gentiles, among the other nations, which really the word Gentiles means someone of the same tribe or family, right? The word Gentile, going back to the Latin, gentilis. So the Gentiles for salvation are Israelites that lost their heritage. So now it says growth. The diaspora grew after the destruction of Jerusalem by Rome in 70 AD and after the exclusion from Jerusalem in 135 CE. So here we go. Communities. The Judite communities were established in many regions, including Babylon, Egypt. Where's Egypt? Africa. Syria, Greece, and Rome, which also would include Western Africa as well after 70 AD. So you have Israelites that are scattered everywhere. Assimilation. They often assimilated into the cultures of the regions they lived in while maintaining their Israelite identity. But not all Israelites maintain their Israelite identity. Okay? Now, they try to use this history to pertain to the so-called white people which claim to be Jews today, which is not the case. All right? This history is referring to you so-called African Americans, West Indians, so-called Haitians, all right, of the southern kingdom of Judah. So now that we have an overview of what happened to the Israelites, okay, what is the meaning of the diaspora of Israelites? And a lot of Israelites went different places, okay? So one key thing that it mentioned here is that the Israelites assimilated into the cultures of the regions they lived in, okay? I should say some while maintaining their Israelite identity. But now when you go into the scriptures, I want to show you that not all Israelites kept their identity of being an Israelite or following the customs. Okay? So now let's look this up. In the Apocrypha, when you go into the history, this is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6. 6, the key point is in verse 6, but I'm going to read verse 3 here. It says, the coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, meaning to the Israelites, because you had the Greeks coming in, destroying Jerusalem. For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, the other nations not Israelites, who dally with harlots, temple prostitutes, worshiping other gods, and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places. So they were defiling the temple with their hoes. And besides that, brought in things that were not lawful into the Israelite temple that King Solomon built. The altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days. So it wasn't law. There was a point in the history where Israelites weren't allowed to be able to keep the Sabbath. It says, or ancient fasts, or to profess himself at all to be an Israelite of Judah. So this is what was going on. It says, and in the day of the king's birth every month, they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. So the kings of the Greeks forced the Israelites to eat of their pagan sacrifices. And when the fast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews, the Israelites, were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus carrying ivy. So instead of worshiping the Passover and worshiping the Sabbath and the new moons, the Israelites were forced to worship Greek gods. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy, one of the kings of that time, against the Jews, that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices. And whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles, the other nations, the other religions and philosophies and the races of the people of this world, should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery. You Christians don't understand the Bible. The Israelites were forced to conform to the manners of the Gentiles, which was not of the heritage of the Israelites. Okay? And that is based upon the diaspora, the scattering of our people. Okay? The scattering of our people from Jerusalem all around the world into different regions. Okay? This is in the scriptures. Now I want to go from here, right? And I'm going to show you where it says that you were Gentiles. 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and 2. This is Paul speaking to Israelites. Ye know that ye were Gentiles. How were they a Gentile? Because you had the Israelites that were following the ways of the heathens, being scattered among the other nations. So they were acting like Gentiles, worshiping Bacchus, carried away unto these dumb idols such as Bacchus that I just read, even as you were led by Ptolemy, King Ptolemy, all right, for example. So the Gentiles that the apostles and Paul was sent to, when you read the history in the New Testament, they wasn't going to these other nations and races of people to bring them to God, because they had their own idols and gods to worship. It was the Israelites that were to be brought back to the fold, to be brought back to the sheepfold. The sheep only pertain to the Israelites. Why do you think the Lord says, when you read this in the book of Jeremiah, the 50th chapter, he says, my people, possessive, my people have been lost sheep. This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and 6. My people hath been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill, meaning our people have gone from philosophy to religion to other philosophy to a new religion, instead of keeping the customs of being an Israelite. They have forgotten their resting place. All that have found them devoured them, like Ptolemy and the Greeks came into Jerusalem, like I just read, and scattered our people. and forced them to not profess themselves to be an Israelite. And their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord. So because of our disobedience to the ways of the Lord, the adversaries of our people, the heathen, were able to turn us into Gentiles like them. Right? The habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. Okay? This is what happens when we became scattered. We were keeping the ways of the other nations. Okay? So now what is going to happen to our people where we're going to be brought back together? I'm going to show you. Okay? From among the heathen. Let's see here. And there's a few scriptures. So I'll get this. Ezekiel 36 and 24. For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries and will bring you into your own land. We were scattered. Okay? This is under Israel to be renewed for his name's sake. Okay? We were scattered, diaspora, scattered. Right? Is Ezekiel 6 and 8. Yet will I leave a remnant, that ye may have some that shall escape the sword among the nations, when ye shall be scattered through the countries. So our people was scattered. Okay? Our people was scattered. Let me look up this word, diaspora. What does it say? The dispersion or spread of a people from their original homeland. So, I just want to go through these scriptures and, go through this point of our people being scattered throughout, the whole world, in various places. Here's an image here, ancient image of Israelites, which is clearly black people being led away. Israelites. So that was just a few words on the Israelite diaspora. With that, I'll say shalom.